Hey, this is Dave Blair coming at you from DaveBlairMusic.com. And what I wanted to do today is just kind of give a high level overview of kind of like where I come from. People are like, who's this Dave guy? And what, well, why is he talking? Why does he have a channel? And does he know what he's talking about? And anyway, so I'll just go, give you a little bit about me. So I don't know, maybe around 5 years old, I used to go into my dad's cabinet, which had all these records with those old school, like 78s and 45s and singles. And so I used to listen to all sorts of stuff, the Eagles, Rascals, and I just really dig music, constantly listening to the radio. And I remember in first or second grade, there was a project that you had to do. And it was like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you had to do like a little shoebox type of thing, experiment. So what I did is I took... from a magazine, took out pictures of Kiss, had them standing up on the stage in this shoebox, but then I took, I think it was Paul Stanley's head, chopped it off, put my picture on it. Now, I don't have that shoebox anymore, and I don't remember what grade I got, but it kind of shows you where my head was at even at an early age. I was probably only like 6 or something at that time. So around second grade, I asked for a guitar for Christmas, got it. Never practiced until started getting into like Led Zeppelin, and I think the first thing that I actually dug after like a year of lessons, never practicing, my teacher showed me this, like, and I was like, yeah, Led Zeppelin, because I knew Led Zeppelin. I had Led Zeppelin 2, even at like 6 years old. I dug Led Zeppelin, and the Beatles are probably the first couple of records that I had, and after that it was like Floyd, The Wall. And I just listened to that. Like people watch movies, I would listen to The Wall from top to bottom at like 7 years old while reading the lyrics. So I was kind of into it at an early age. So I started playing, did things like garage bands. Before the program on your Macintosh laptop, we actually played in garage bands in people's garages, literally, or basements and things like that. And we had a lot of fun, in high school playing different playing in garage. People from the neighborhood would come down and we'd play Van Halen or Iron Maiden, Metallica, stuff like that. And that's how you learn. And then different basement bands, original bands where we played. I remember one time we had like a heavy metal band. Then we opened up for Paul Di'Anno of Iron Maiden, the original singer from Iron Maiden. That was our claim to fame at the time. And then over the years, just playing in different cover bands, which made money, doing session work for different people, filling in. Then at one point, the tricky part was a lot of times, in a lot of these bands, we could never find a good singer. Auditioning singers can never find anybody that was even good. So I was like, hey, I can't sing, but maybe if I took a couple lessons, I'd learn enough, just like I did with guitar, to be able to hold a tune or something. And then I came across voice teacher Judy Hages, and she from the very first lesson, I kind of got an impression that she was different. She was like a Yoda of singing, and she basically said, hey, anyone can learn to sing. It's not something you're born with. It's a fallacy. And I'm like, really? I could actually sing, be good, yeah, but it was a lot of hard work, and a lot of soul searching, because you suck for the first, well, sometimes a couple of years, and still holding on to the idea, maybe I'll be good one day if I practice 2 hours a day every day, 365 days a year. And after a few years of that, 4 or 5 years, and it's like, okay, I actually sound good. And now fast forward, I actually sing professionally in lots of different projects and get paid to sing, and all sorts of styles of music, from country to hard rock to metal to pop to jazz, whatever it calls for. I could probably sing it. Rapping, I hear the record just like on guitar. I hear a solo, I could replicate it. Vocally, I could usually replicate most things, whether it's Neil Diamond or whatever, Rick James. So had a lot of training that I had. Went to music school, had a minor in music, Mason Gross School of the Arts, which is a part of Rutgers. Didn't have a major, but got past like those crazy jazz courses and stuff like that, where your training is like, here's this chord, like over every note on the piano. What chord is that? Flat augmented ninth, flat whatever, and you have to hear that. And I squeaked by that, because I'm not a musical genius or anything, but I am, got learned a lot. And then when it came to recording, I kind of learned about, from just back from those garage bands. We used to have a 4-track, which is a big deal. You saved up your money from your summer job and got a 4-track, which is the state of the art technology at the time for bands, local bands. Did demos, spent months just recording a demo one on a 4-track. Fast forward to now, we have a completely new set of technology with things like Pro Tools, Logic, plugins, and learned a lot over the years. One big significant thing for me was meeting Ronan Chris Murphy, which is a producer, and he does a recording boot camp and different types of classes. And that took a couple of his classes and learned a lot. And he put things in perspective. There's a lot of stuff I knew, but then he put it into perspective as to what's really important and what's not important and where to focus, which really helped focus my abilities to record and mix. And to the point that I was able to do my first record, and then a couple of years later do my second record, and now I'm working on a third, and I'm getting better and better to the point where people ask me to record them and mix them. That was never my goal, but it's kind of fun to work with other artists, and now I built up a studio here that's high quality. So if we could make some cool music, great. I've had the opportunity to play with some seriously great musicians, some of which are on my records, and that's one great thing of playing with a lot of different bands. So what I'm doing here with this channel is basically from all these different experiences over the last, who knows, 100 years, I've been doing all sorts of different types of projects, and people are always asking me questions on mixing, on gear, on singing, on getting gigs, on live performance, on PA systems, and I'm always answering the questions. And I think it would make sense, just instead of answering that one person and spending 20 minutes, why don't I just do a video on it, post it up there, and then anybody from around the world could see it. I mean, once in a while I even get messages from friends of mine on Facebook that are in countries that I've never even heard of. Seriously, I mean, some of these countries are very small countries in Africa or Eastern Europe or whatever, and they'll ask me something about mixing or whatever, which is amazing because technology allows that, something that you could never have done before. So why not disseminate the knowledge? I think the goal is, as a musician, your goal is to make better music in the world, and not just by playing or singing, but also if I can help somebody else make better music, great, because nothing annoys me more than walking into a club and hearing someone with a terrible guitar tone or someone singing out of tune, and it's like, well, why do we need that? I'll take them aside and I'll help them, because it'll help them, and it'll help there be better music in the world. So I'll do a whole nother video on as far as the philosophy of everybody's got to help each other, because I know I've learned a lot from different mentors that have helped me over the years. When I knew nothing about certain thing, I would go into a friend's studio and watch them and ask them questions and then give me advice, and now I'm doing the same thing. So that's my goal. So if you have a question, leave it and I'll give you an answer. And if I don't know the answer, I know enough people, or I could probably find the answer or maybe even get them to join and do a call or something. But I guarantee a lot of the things I talk about aren't, I try not to teach things like scales and things like that. There's a million videos where you can learn guitar scales or arpeggios or a technique. I try to get it from a little more angle of a real musician trying to make real music from a practical perspective. Talk about things like dynamics, vibe, really what the important things are that separate the men from the boys, because there's a lot of phenomenal women musicians as well. So, but separates the real deal from the wannabes. And it's a lot of subtle things that they don't really teach you in a magazine about, how to pick or whatever. So that's a little bit about me. If you have any questions, submit them, comment. I love replying and having dialogue with other musicians. And anything you have to teach me, same. I'm always learning too. Every day I'm still taking lessons or asking questions, and that's what you should do too. So, and subscribe so that I guarantee you'll learn something. Guaranteed.